said she'd stay, but I think I lost my head. Her brown eyes fade to black. The shadows cry, the shadows cry, the shadows cry. She'll never take me back. My mind is wasted, it's gone. I'm living with the fallout. My brain is racing, it's gone. I'm living with the fallout. She loved me more than I could stand. That was my mistake. Now the bombs dropped on the man. Her goodbye rings in my ears. I hear the sound, I hear the sound, I hear the sound. My mind's a mushroom cloud. My mind is wasted, it's gone. I'm living with the fallout. My brain is racing, it's gone. I'm living with the fallout. My heart is breaking, it's gone. I'm living with the fallout. It's gone. I'm living with the The shockwave hit me. Now the afterglow is fading. It burns out, burns out. The fallout. The fallout. My mind is wasted, it's gone. I'm living with the fallout. My brain is racing, it's gone. I'm living with the fallout. My heart is breaking, it's gone. I'm living with the fallout. It's gone. I'm living with the fallout. I'm living with the fallout.
Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. That was new song that my brother shared with me called Fallout, and I think that's one of his best songs he ever did. So I hope you enjoyed that. So there's a couple of things we want to talk about today on the podcast. So a couple of things. Going to go over the Grand Theft Auto 6 PC specifications article that I wrote, and I'm happy with all the engagement that I've been getting. And we're 007 First Light dropped, and I'm going to show you some gameplay from that, and maybe show you some footage from a release last week of Lego Batman, the new one that just came out. And we'll talk about the new hardware that I've gotten to help support OCmodshop and all the video editing and stuff like that, and why I ditched my laptop finally for it. And so we'll just go over those things. First off was the Grand Theft Auto 6 PC specifications article. I worked on that for a while, and I had some intel that, there's some things about coming up with the content. I don't just pull these things out of my butt. That's what I started doing. I thought I could just pull out some content from a long time ago and just repurpose it. And that I found out very quickly that that did not work. So I've been putting a lot of research into new articles and stuff that you guys would find interesting. So the intel that I had said it was time for a Grand Theft Auto 6 PC specifications article. There's a lot of speculation about the game, even though it's not going to be released for PC this year. One thing that I call it, so that published a few days ago, and I goofed and accidentally said that GTA 6 would come out this year because the consoles are going to be released November 19th, I believe, this year. And so people called me out on that. That was a goof. I didn't mean to include that take. So I corrected it, and that's in the video now. So I go over all the available hardware, what will be available, and there's going to be some more changes to the PC landscape, likely before the game launches on PC. There may be some new video cards or a faster processor, but the recommendations still really remain the same. You know, with what we know about Grand Theft Auto, it's going to be highly CPU intensive. It's going to use a lot of textures. So the recommendations I still have in the video are still are sound, and they will be sound. Basically, you're going to need 32 gigs of RAM. You're going to need a video card with at least 16 gigabytes of VRAM. And the processor specifications and stuff like that. I also go into what it takes for handhelds to run them, and I talk a lot about that in the video. So someone actually just commented right before this podcast that says, "Why even make this video since there's going to be new hardware that comes out between now and the PC released?" And to that, I say, like I mentioned, the intel I had was that this is the right time for this, and there's not going to be a new Steam Deck. I talk about what it takes for it to, some hardware is going to remain the same, and are you going to be able to run it on that? If a new video card came out, but it had specifications that wouldn't run GTA 6, does that mean you'd go out and buy it? The recommendations I have are still the same. I made this for you guys, for the community, because people need to get ready now, because prices are only going to increase. Case in point, I'll talk about this in a minute. The Steam Deck price increased, and the Switch 2's price is increasing later this year. So when people ask, why make a hardware recommendation video now? So you can afford it now. That's why. Let's see. I am happy with all the engagement that the engagement value that YouTube has been bringing to me. Because like when I was doing the website, I put out articles. The engagement was through forums and through comments, and people may not have commented quickly. I'm getting almost real time feedback. There was a article I put out a week or so ago about how to fix something on the Steam Deck when Decky was breaking, and someone commented that it wasn't working for them. And I got that notification immediately and was able to immediately test if what they were doing was wrong. Maybe I had something wrong. I double checked my work. And I immediately, as soon as I found out how to fix this problem, I responded to him. And so I'm really happy that I can do that I can communicate with you guys in real time. I'd really like to share my Discord server with you guys. So I'm on that, and you guys can reach out, and if you have a problem or something didn't work for you or whatever, you have a comment on something, that's a direct way to talk to me. So I can definitely do that. So I'm happy with the engagement that the YouTube platform is bringing, and I'm ecstatic. I'm getting real feedback on the content you guys want to see through not only through the analytics, but also the comments and the stuff that you guys are telling me. So I appreciate it. So which brings me to, sorry, I need to switch up the content a little bit. You guys have been staring at my face for way too long. Which, yeah, I meant to show you as I was talking about Grand Theft Auto and the new things that I'm doing. But it brings me to the Steam Deck. So look at this. The price has increased. Like last week, you could get the Steam Deck 1 terabyte OLED for $650 or $649. Now it's $949. So the lowest spec Steam Deck you can get is more than the highest spec Steam Deck was a week ago. So if the Steam Deck is now almost $1,000, that makes some of the other handhelds kind of tempting, because if either their prices are going to increase, but if the delta between the Steam Deck and a more expensive handheld, more powerful handheld, people might be tempted to do that, which brings into question, people might start having to analyze, do I really want a PC handheld, or do I want to do a Switch? A Switch is, a Switch 2. A Switch 2 is $450 right now, but it's been announced that that will increase to $499, $500 on September 1st of this year. I have some strong opinion. Well, I have some opinions about the Switch 2 versus the Steam Deck or a PC handheld. I have both, and I'll do a comparison of them, if you want to play games. But it's just kind of interesting how prices are increasing. So one of the things that I did for my Steam Deck when I got it was $650, and I upgraded it to a 2 terabyte version. One thing that's good about the Steam Deck when you get the premium version is you get this really awesome case here. Let me switch to a different camera. You get this case here, which has a, well, there's my Steam Deck with my, of course, wood grain on it. But you get this removable insert. I'm not going to take it out right now, but there's a removable insert in there. And so that, and the, it comes with a red instead of blue dot, but, so what, the case is premium when you get the premium version. But regardless, when I got my 1 terabyte Steam Deck, I upgraded it to 2. And so I was researching what it would take to upgrade if you bought the cheaper Steam Deck here at $789 and upgraded it, but it's about the same. The prices for a 1 terabyte NVMe of the size that would fit this is $200. A 2 terabyte is $300. So for about $1,150, you can get a 2 terabyte Steam Deck. You'll have to buy the NVMe yourself and install it. And I have an article. I've done it myself, and I'm going to write an article or post a video about how to do that. It's pretty simple. But the prices are gone up. So do we need to think about gaming? If you want a portable gaming experience, is the Switch 2 the cheapest option now? Seems like it's going to be. So, and that kind of goes back to why make a hardware recommendation video now, because the hardware will get more expensive. That's why. Let's see. So another thing that happened this week was the James Bond First Light video game came out on Steam. It dropped for early access on Steam on Wednesday, or was it Tuesday? And then I played it, and then the very next day it dropped. And so I have some gameplay footage here going through the levels. I'm a fan of the Hitman games. Hold on, let me just make sure you guys are seeing this. I'm a fan of the Hitman games, and this is it's by the same developers who did Hitman. This is a James Bond reboot. It's set in a modern time, but the story is how James Bond came to be a secret agent. So there's some intro and about the mechanics and all that sort of thing. But once you get into the game, the mechanics are very similar to Hitman, but it's a little bit more action oriented, because James Bond only has a license to kill once he's been mortally threatened. This encourages stealth gameplay, because in Hitman you could just kill people immediately, but you can't just kill people until you have a license to kill. And I think I'll show that in some of the gameplay. Maybe I'll just go ahead and play this. I'm just going to skip around. My daughter was watching me play this because she loves Hitman, and she watches me stream this. And so when I was first playing, I got my butt kicked several times, and so now I'm a lot better. Yeah, as you'll see. I'll shut up now.
Bellhop makes that kind of dough. I'm in the wrong line of business.
I'm gonna go.
Very similar mechanic to Hitman. You cause a distraction, go behind them, take them out.
I'm going to hurt you.
And you have these gadgets, these Q gadgets. So, like the mechanic where you can see where people are behind walls, that is now because of your spy watch. And I just launched a gas thing at him to blind him. So.
Those buster stains still aren't coming off. Give them a heavy duty cycle or
Let me just skip through here. I don't want to have this whole podcast be about a 20-minute gameplay.
Didn't see that coming, did you?
Just skip through here. Oh, and yeah, there's another mechanic here where you can bluff your way through. So like it,
this. You.
and so I'm going to bluff, and if the bluff doesn't work, you can fake surrender. So there's some different combat mechanics that you didn't have in Hitman. But of course, you can change disguises and stuff like that. Not as egregiously as you did in Hitman, but the graphics are really, really good on this. I'll talk about the new hardware that I got in a minute, but it's a top-end Spec PC, and it runs this just great. Over 150, 160 frames a second. I actually had to tell it to top out at 120. But the thing is, it also plays on the Steam Deck. I downloaded this and played it on the Steam Deck. Of course, low settings for everything, and it totally works. And there's some tricks you can do with the Steam Deck, and I'll make some more videos about that. About how to get the most performance out of it. And one of those things is by using lossless frame generation or tricking the game to thinking it's an NVIDIA card so you can use DLSS. And I tried both of those tricks on this game, and it did not work. Matter of fact, it crashed the game. So it's still a new game, but the native FSR support that it has works great. I was getting about 45 frames a second on the Steam Deck, with low settings, but it's absolutely playable. So I'm not going to make you guys watch me doing this fight, but needless to say, I win. So that's that. Just thought that was interesting. The new 007 First Light game. There was also. So there's that in the Steam store. You can go buy it. 007 First Light. It's $70, just like every other game is today. And like I mentioned last week, Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight came out, and I have some gameplay footage of that, and I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but it is the best graphics for a Lego game. Let me find the footage here. But if you're really into the lore of Batman, you might like this. But it starts out kind of slow. Well, hold on. So, very good graphics, Lego game. But you start out as young Bruce Wayne right before his parents are killed, and you know it's kind of like, okay, I'm playing as a kid tracking down parts of a costume, and this is the second level here where you are joining the League of Shadows and you meet up with Talia. And if you are a Batman fan, then you know who that is, and you're in the mountains. And this is a cocky Bruce Wayne. You're not even playing as Batman yet, and so you're doing a lot of backstory for Batman. But so if you guys wanted to see that, it's interesting. But I just thought I'd show that to you. So let's see. That brings me to the next topic, which is the new hardware. Why I ditched and basically why I ditched my laptop for a desktop again. I used to have a desktop years ago, and I replaced it with at first I replaced it with a Surface. And believe it or not, it was actually faster than my desktop at the time, and I was actually amazed. One of the things I do to test how fast things are is compressing video. And I eventually got a gaming laptop, which was really good at the time. Intel i7 10750H with NVIDIA 2070. It had 16 gigs of RAM in it, and I upgraded it to 64, and that should be more than enough. And it is more than enough for most tasks. And then I got into heavy video editing and DaVinci Resolve, and just some complex projects just would not work. So it's like, well, it's time to upgrade again. So I did. There's just some things. There's always been some weird things using a laptop as a desktop. Of course, there's no upgradable components. You can upgrade the RAM, and if you really need more of a video card, if you choose the wrong laptop, then you can't use an external video card. My laptop did not support external GPUs. And so there's just some other little quirks, like if you don't want to have your laptop open all the time and have the screen on all the time, because it's going to reduce the screen's lifetime. So I set it up so I can close it, and but it won't put the PC to sleep. But there's always some weird quirky things with the monitor disconnecting, and I would have to open up the lid again and start it. I would always have to. There's always noise from it. When I wanted to get the best performance out of my gaming laptop, it was always noisy. It sounded like a jet engine taking off all the time. And whenever I was doing some video compression, I would have to turn it on and it'd be running all night. So, there's always some quirks and trade-offs with a gaming laptop. And it's basically, if you want the most performance out of it, it's going to be loud. And that's just one of the trade-offs. And there's just a limit to what you can do with gaming laptops. My son has an Alienware, really good, fancy new gaming laptop, and it is loud and it's powerful, but adjust your expectations. So I bought a new rig, and I'll talk about some of the specs here. Let me open up some. So here are so the rig that I bought is a Ryzen 9 9950 X3D with a Radeon 9700 XTX with 24 gigabytes of RAM. And so that's that card there. I got a Crucial 4 terabyte NVMe. There's the Ryzen 9 9950X3D. There it is out of the box. Corsair Vengeance 64 gigabytes of DDR5 5200 RAM. And this is the MSI MAG motherboard. And it has 4 NVMe slots on it. It supports all of the AM5 processors. This is the Fractal Design case that I got, Fractal Design North, and it has real wood on the front, and I'm a sucker for that. I've always loved that. As a matter of fact, one of my case mods I did back in the day was a wood-grained PC. I think even LGR, Lazy Game Reviews, he loves his wood-grain PC, but I had one way before then. Oh, so here's the OCmod box. Here's all the Fractal Design cable management that comes with it. So putting this together was kind of a beast. My son Brennan helped me put this together because it had been a long time since I built a desktop. And so all these wires, there's the power supply. So here's the case with the all-in-one water cooler and the installed video card. The knobs and ports on the front. So you can't really see it here, but there's like 6 CPU and PCI Express ports on this power supply. And it used to be when you have these power supplies that use only the cables that you need, there would be lots left over. And I used all of these. You know, I don't have many. The only card I have in there is the video card, and I used all of the PCIe and CPU ports on the thing. This is a beast. It's like, so there were 3 PCIe power connectors for the video card, 2 for the CPU on the motherboard, 1 to power the PCI Express bus on the motherboard. So it's just a beast. As a matter of fact, when we turned this thing on, it tripped the power in the room. I couldn't plug it into the office UPS that I had that runs a laptop and everything else. I had to plug it straight into the wall. And so I got a new UPS, a 1500 watt, 1500 VA big UPS, and that works fine, but it's just a beast. And let me show you. Here's one of the screenshots of Task Manager running. So it's 16 cores, 32 threads, and like I said, before when I ran the laptop, you know, I was doing compression of 1080p video. I wouldn't even bother with 4K because it would just take forever. And I would get maybe on a good day 80 to 100 frames a second. And so there's 2 modes here, doing video compression with Handbrake, just using the CPU, or using the enhanced mode, which basically uses the hardware of the graphics card. And I think here, this is the this is 720p video, just using software, and I was getting 650, 700 frames a second. I was astonished. I think this is 1080. Yeah, here it is with the full hardware mode, and I'm getting 1100 frames a second compression. It's insane. And there's all the cores, and you can see right there, the GPU is full tilt. The CPU is not at 100%. And when doing software compression, it would be at 100%, the CPU. Let's see, here's a video of this, and this is, yeah, the Ryzen and Radeon at 1080p, and it's getting 600, 700 frames a second, you know, video compression. When doing 4K, I can easily get like about 70 to 90. So doing 4K compression. So that's still just insane. The main thing that I got this for, of course, the gaming, so I can review things and do some testing and benchmarks and all that sort of thing. But the main thing is video editing and compression, and this is a beast that will handle everything. The extra cache on the X3D, I know that there's a lot of videos right now where people are saying the X3D processors are a waste of money, don't do it. And they do cost more, and they're worth it. In not only in video games, but if you're a professional that does any creative work, Photoshop, video editing, it helps a lot. So it's an extra little premium, but that's the thing, is like these little luxuries you pay a little extra for. But if you're a gamer, I'll probably do a video on, is the X3D processors worth it? Because that was part of the thing of OCmodshop and while we did stuff. Basically, we overclock because we want to get the most performance, basically the best bang for your buck. That's what OCmodshop was all about in the beginning. And I get that. And I've also figured out that overclocking also introduces problems. So when you run into a problem, especially when you build your own rig, you don't know if the problem that you're having is because you tweak with your stuff. So if you just buy out of I bought more performance than I could possibly need for right now. And I know that if it doesn't work, it's not because I overclocked it or tweaked it or messed with some timings or anything like that. So buying the extra gives me that extra headroom. You buy more than what you need. So it's a similar type of thing of like hardware recommendations for the game that isn't released yet. Buy more than you need so that you're ready for it. Let's see. Yeah, so what else? So as I promised in the last episode, I started a tradition of retroware. Since I can't repurpose a lot of the old reviews I used to do, I might be able to, but I'm not going to use the same scripts. I'm going to show off some stuff that I did before. This is the World of Warcraft mouse by SteelSeries. It was many years ago. It was like 10, maybe 12 years ago, where the World of Warcraft mouse came out. It was the first MMO gaming mouse, and it had an awesome box, awesome look. It was SteelSeries, so of course it was awesome. And so this was me in the photo studio that I used to have. So I took some pretty good pictures there. And I would do this for the website. It has all sorts of different buttons. I think Corsair came out with a MMO gaming mouse that has like a bajillion buttons on it. But these were all configurable so that they had different toggle modes and all that sort of thing. You press one of these buttons, so there's like a 4-way hat switch there, and they could be toggled to do different functions based on those other buttons there. Nice World of Warcraft branding there. There's the software that you use with it. So that was kind of fun. Odd retroware. And in the same vein, I might as well bring this out too. The World of Warcraft Gamer Fuel by Mountain Dew. We actually did a review on this. They had, I think at the time they had 2 different ones. One was red and one was blue, I think. But I think they did this a couple of times. But this is the Mountain Dew Gamer Fuel. There's the nutrition specs. Oh yeah. So anyway, that is the oddware for the day, and that covers all the topics. Let me just see if there's any comments that I could talk about. But I think that's it. Again, I thank you guys for watching and supporting me, and I think I have a better hone on what you guys want to see, and I'm going to be bringing more of that to you. There's going to be more videos about, there's going to be more tutorials, there's going to be more stuff about PC specifications, recommendations, how-tos, how to fix stuff, and more Steam controller, more Steam Deck stuff. I know I teased that I was going to show you some things that you didn't know about the Steam controller. Part of that is wrenching it away from my daughter because she loves it so much. And two, when I was trying to show you all the things that you can do that you didn't know you could do with the Steam Deck, it is turning into a big article. So I'm working on a big video that I'm going to work on this weekend and bring to you hopefully next week of all the stuff you can do with the Steam Deck, because this can be the Steam controller too, because there's a lot you can do, and a lot of it I don't think many people know about. So thank you guys for your support. I'm going to sign off, and thank you guys for watching. I will talk to you guys later. And of course, hit me up in any of the comments. If you have any questions about anything, if any of the suggestions that I have for you or tutorials, if you're having issues with it, reach out to me and I'll be there. Thank you guys, and I will talk to you later.
Shelter walls, a concrete bed. She said she'd stay, but I think I lost my